I'd like to open up the Buildings and Grounds Subcommittee meeting. Roll call, please.
Member Gately?
Present.
Member Castellanos?
Present.
Member Smith?
Present.
So today we're going to have a presentation from some students at Frederick Douglass Academy to talk to us about healthy environments for all learners. So could they please come up?
I need the PowerPoint.
It's okay.
Yeah, we're trying to set up the PowerPoint.
Oh. Well, how are you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah, we're good.
That's
Hi.
good. We're just waiting for it to come up on the screen.
I don't have
Well-
it. They didn't send it to me.
So we got the paper.
Do you miss your seniors? I bet you it's a little quiet in the halls.
Good evening and thank you to everyone who's here. Our names are Patricia Sanchez,
Madeline Anchuitz.
And Jesus Hierro.
and we're here as student representatives of Frederick Douglass Collegiate Academy. We began working alongside the Lynn City Health Division earlier this school year, and in the summer, the work began to bridge the gap between student perspective and city policy. Using our student perspective, we began research on our school's environment and its health and its impact on our health and learning abilities. Our goal was simple: to identify the student sentiment on the FDCA environment and how LPS and the City of Lynn can better support a healthy education to all learners.
We did an environmental walkthrough looking to identify factors that impact student learning. Through direct observation, the team noted inconsistent temperatures, a lack of green space, bland and unengaging hallways, and floors that both sound and feel hollow. We created a survey asking students what environmental factors most impact their learning, what they felt was most important to change, and who they feel should be contacted to make these changes. They noted our teachers, LPS administration, the mayor, elected officials, and local business leaders.
Our data revealed two critical insights. The first was about temperature instability and inconsistencies in our building. I'm gonna raise this down a little, sorry. According to the data, it was the number one concern, as 57% of students who were surveyed reported that inconsistent temperatures in our building create a major barrier to focus and comfort. Stabilizing our indoor climate stabilizing our indoor climate is our top priority for health and productivity. Green space and indoor quality was also a major concern that came up. 28% of students identified a high desire for increased access to green space as an improvement to our general school environment. I would like to share some student quotes from the survey. "It's cold in some classes and hot in the rest. It makes me feel sick. We need more space outside to run and more plants to make it feel less plain. These walls look like I'm in a hospital and makes me feel sick. We need the school to feel like a place for learning, not a place for patients. The walls, the hallways need to look more alive."
We see environmental change in our school as a shared responsibility. It's a responsibility that requires leadership from Lynn Public Schools, City Hall, and businesses and residents who call Lynn home. There have been some updates since we submitted our slides for this evening. We asked to identify strategies for better climate control within our classrooms, and I would like to share with you that after speaking with the ISD department, the conversation continued about applying tinting to the windows. The Health Division and the ISD are currently working to implement tinting, and this is being funded through the HEAL grant. We asked for identification and utilization of more outside areas as designated green space. We have an enclosed space that's currently approved in the back of the building for our garden space. This will need to be built out, but there are conversations beginning about how to fund and source that. We hope to partner with the Food Project and the Food Policy Council at the beginning of next school year.
We would also like to share that Mr. Norris presented this project at the HEAL Summit on May 28th. The project was received very well and has been marked as a potential model for the rest of the state to engage their students in climate resilience.
We want to thank everyone for their time and support through this project. We are excited about the momentum that we have gained and ask for continued support to keep the conversations moving forward. We ask that you continue to cheer us on as we advocate for change and a work towards a healthy environment for all learners.
Thank you.
Well done. Any questions? Member Castellanos?
First of all, I want to thank you all for being here. It takes a lot of courage to present in front of all these people, all these different folks in the room. Really want to hear from you. Your plans and I think the qualitative findings and the student quotes, I read this last night in my packet, and I think what really, it struck me a little bit with some of the student quotes, because it's really important. Like, you got to listen and hear from the grassroots, and I think it's important to kind of hear what the district is planning to. I guess I like to hear from the district, because these are the people who are really in the room trying to hear you out and make it come to fruition. I liked how you guys had some solutions on the table. I guess, can you guys give us a status update on what outdoor green space opportunities that we have? Sounds like you guys are already working on this, so there's work being done with ISD. An update would be good.
Sure, great. First, I want to thank you for, this is now the third time that you have presented. You presented to my team, to the mayor, and now to everybody publicly, and you've done a fantastic job, even with the technical difficulties that we had with the PowerPoint. So, way to go on that. We were all moved by the remarks, particularly around how the walls make the students feel. And so that, oh great, thank you. Do you want to pull that up actually, Ms. Liz? Actually, let's go just a little, let's just review for a moment for the audience. Yes. And I just want to pause for a second, particularly around the methodology and how they were able to.
The other screen's not on.
Oh, the other screens?
All
Oh, we're really having issues.
The other screen's not working. Yeah, he just turned it on.
We're almost there. What's that?
Anyway, I'll just keep going. The partnership with City Hall has been wonderful. And so what moved us the most was the qualitative data around the comments about how the space makes students feel with blank walls or that like sharp white. And so we immediately went into action, and we were talking with Member Gately about creating some space outside here. There are some different pockets over here to the right of the building for creating some space for students to be able to go, just like what they recommended. And then we're having the students kind of help to determine what they want to put on the walls. In FDCA, we've had some work with is it Raw Arts, that they've been doing some like collages and things on the walls up there. So the more that students are kind of helping to create that space, the better it is.
And can I just add to that as
Dan
well?
Nicholson.
Thank you. As a response to Member Castellanos' question, absolutely agree with everything the superintendent said. The students were phenomenal in their presentation to me and my team, and I know that our City Hall staff has been very energized working with them. They mentioned Norris Guscott, who's a wonderful member of our public health team. And I know he's been really energized and proud of the collaboration. On outdoor space specifically, I would also add that this, and we discussed this a little bit with the students, but just so everybody knows, this little triangle out here at Broad and Market and Linway, the slip lane, if you're coming from Market Street up on Linway, is owned by DCR. The Northern Strand Bike Trail is going through it right now. You can see it. So that'll be open hopefully in the fall. But you can see the fences that are on the bike trail. And then when the Linway is redone, some of that front part of that triangle is going to be incorporated in that project. But there's also plenty of room there that I think is like up for grabs. And it's a highly trafficked area, and so there's always those considerations. But to the extent that there's a way to figure out something to do out there, it's DCR's land, so that they'd have to be on board. But I would lend my full support, and I'm sure all of you would as well, to try to see if there's something to collaborate between DCR and LPS on the use of that space out there. So.
Any other questions? Member Smith?
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. This is really terrific for us to be able to hear from students directly. That really goes a very long way. I'm wondering if there's anything that wasn't included in your presentation that you think we should know about, if there's anything about how you feel about, your year at FDCA, this first year in this new building, anything else that we should know about as we are looking to really nail this model and transition fully into this building.
I don't think got anything besides the construction sounds that we had earlier in the year.
With the new building, there was a lot of I cannot speak. I'm so sorry. There were a lot of renovations that were happening, and during like the middle of the year, I'd say there was a lot of construction sounds. I heard that by the end of the year or like next year, that will be fixed, but we didn't include that in the presentation.
But that's all. Thank you for your time.
So I'm not done. We're not done yet.
Member Gately?
First of all, I want to thank you for your presentation and coming forward and asking us to recommend to cheer you on and to help you move and continue support of this program. I talked to Norris Guscott today to ask him about the program. He told me you were getting the windows tinted. That ought to help. And with the help of our arts, maybe we can get those walls so they don't look so sterile. That's a good word for it, I think. But I would definitely be in support of this. So thank you very much for your presentation. Oh. The person with the gavel gets to call the names, just so you know. Member Pena?
First of all, thank you for the presentation. Just to echo what Member Castellano mentioned, it takes a lot of courage to come up here, and I commend you on that. And this is a new building. We're growing together, we're learning together, and the more we have your student input, the more your voices are heard. So I encourage you, keep coming up, and that's how we get things done around here. We're all growing. This is a new space, and it takes time. But your voice, your input is very important. So I'm in support of what you presented, and hopefully we can probably collaborate in the future, maybe with DCI, and maybe can work on some also outdoor space, some green space. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry. Oh, Member Pena. Member Ortiz McGrath.
Thank you. So first and foremost, I just want to congratulate you for your presentation. Very, very well done. I'm really impressed with just the findings and being able to share and leverage your voice. Your voice is power. So make sure that you're using it and make sure that you're continuing to come back and just keeping us updated on all of the new additions and the changes within the building. Creating an environment that is welcoming, safe, but also that improves culture and climate is critical. It also improves student engagement. It also impacts student mental health. So continue to advocate. I was just really impressed by this presentation and really proud of our students, and just being able to come in front of such a large audience takes a lot of courage. So I do want to echo what my fellow colleagues said here, but just continue to advocate and push. And we will 100%, you have my full support, and I know that you have the support of the members as well here. So congratulations, very well done.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Gately?
Present.
Yes.
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 Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
like to call to order the June 11, 2026 Athletic Subcommittee meeting. Deb, roll call, please.
Member Smith?
Present?
Member Castellanos?
Present.
Member Pena?
Present.
First item and only item on the agenda, I am here to introduce Deb Tanzer, Director of Nursing, and Jackie Westron, Assistant Director of Nursing, who are going to provide us with an overview of automated external defibrillators in the district. So, please.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I do want to thank Patricia, Maddie, and Jesus for their work on the HEAL initiative. I'd also like to mention Nurse Nancy Peacock, who really took this on, and she was a big part in engaging and supporting the students for this work. So I just wanted to recognize that. Just to say again, I'm Deb Tanzer, Director of Nursing.
Jackie Western, Assistant Director of Nursing.
You should have received an AED checklist and procedure in your packet. It's also linked in the presentation. So for more than 20 years, the nursing department has maintained a comprehensive system to ensure that all AEDs are fully operational and ready for use in the event of an emergency. This practice is integrated into school nurses' weekly work expectations. We have expanded the number of AEDs in our schools over the years and currently have 53 school AEDs along with an AED at Friend Street and then in the lobby here at Market Street. Colleen Peterson, the Assistant Director of Health and PE, also has portable AEDs with her athletic staff, and the Lynn Parks and Recreation have AEDs at Manning Field and Fraser Field. Currently, school nurses or a trained staff member inspect the school AEDs weekly. The weekly procedure includes checking the device's readiness. The device does automatic self-tests, so when the nurse goes to look at the machine, it'll either have a green check or an X. If it has the X, they call us immediately. They also check the battery status and the expiration date. Batteries are put in and they're good for 5 years, and we label every machine. Electrode pads, condition and expiration dates, those usually are good for a couple of years, and we are constantly replacing them, and we keep checklists on that, and we keep a master list with all the expiration dates so we know for ordering purposes. They look at the physical condition of the AED unit, and they also verify that all the supplies are there, so they want to make sure that the CPR masks are there. If you walk by an AED machine, you're going to see there's an orange bag, and you'll see it with this one out here. It says AMBU. That's what we call like the mask that you, okay, and you can hook oxygen to it, which we don't have, but EMS would have that. And it also has the protective valve if you had to give CPR, so just a triangular mask. So they make sure all that's there, and then after they do their inspection, they document it, and that sheet is with the AED. So if you open it up, you'll see a little folder, and you'll see every week it's initialed. Next slide, please. So in addition to the AEDs, we just wanted to also let you know that we have other emergency equipment at each school. With every AED, there's a bleeding control station, along with the CPR mask that I just mentioned, and we also have a 2-pack of Narcan in the AED cabinet. We keep additional Narcan and stock epinephrine in the school nurse's orange emergency bag. So currently we get epinephrine for free through the EpiPens for Schools program, and we also get Narcan for free currently through Mass DPH, so we are able to put them in every cabinet.
In accordance with the state law, every school has a medical behavioral health emergency response plan. These plans are updated every year, and they're submitted to DESE every 3 years. Emergency response protocols are posted with each AED station in every classroom and kept by the athletic staff. These include emergency contact information and actions to take during an emergency. At the beginning of every school year, the school nurse, in collaboration with the principal, selects an emergency response team. That team is trained on their responsibilities during an emergency, and then they run 3 drills every school year, or at least 3 drills every school year. The state requires we run a drill on anaphylaxis, which would be a severe allergic reaction. One has to be a behavioral health scenario, and then the school can choose what the third one is on. In the last 5 years, we've really taken steps to increase emergency preparedness throughout the district. Currently, all staff complete training on life-threatening allergies and epinephrine administration, stop the bleed skills, and seizure first aid. We have begun training interested staff in Narcan administration, and we're going to expand that to all staff next year. Throughout the year, the school nurses who are trained as CPR instructors teach classes to staff. In the last 2 years, we have trained 258 staff members in CPR and AED use. Additionally, these nurses have taught CPR classes to students. Some of the students we've taught are the junior ROTC, those enrolled in the health tech program at LVTI, and students in the After Dark program. For the last 2 years, we've collaborated with the fire department to have the entire 11th grade at FDCA also trained in CPR during their intercession. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions? Member Gate.
I'd just like to thank you for this presentation, and it's good to know the procedures are out there and everything is all set. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Member Castellanos.
Thank you so much. To be quite frankly, sorry, this is very stressful. The process that you explained was very thoroughly just done, and in such a good way. It's really reassuring. That's the feeling. It's reassuring that we have a plan for a very serious situation. And it's good to hear that staff, that was one of my questions initially was, okay, how are we prepared and providing our staff with that type of professional development? And it's nice to see that our fire department is partnering up with us. I guess are there any ways to improve, I guess, are there areas of improvement? Is there support? Is there, are we in a good, I guess you guys are the experts. Are we in a good space right now? Like if operationally, are we, like, can you kind of be right up front with us? Like, are we okay?
Yeah, we are. I mean, the more people we have certified in CPR, I mean, that's ideal. We would like everyone to be, but it's not really a requirement. So staff do it after school on their own time. So it's on a volunteer basis, but we offer plenty of classes, so there's always opportunity. And it's at no cost to them.
And I'd say, like, when Deb and I took over, most buildings had one AED because it was a newer requirement, and now most schools have more than one. And the larger they are, like classical has like 3 or 4. The big schools, they're spread out. And
we were able to purchase more with grant money that we had, so we really were able to boost up the schools, especially the big schools.
Member Smith.
Thank you very much. So to echo my colleagues' comments, thank you so much for this presentation. And I appreciate this. I think it's very much so worth looking into and talking about it publicly because it's a reassurance. And the reason this is before the athletic subcommittee is there was an incident at Manning Field not involving Lynn Public Schools, but a student did go into cardiac arrest, and that student is alive and well today, in part thanks to a portable AED that the trainer had in that situation. I think, again, I feel totally reassured about our schools, but as the chair of the athletic subcommittee, I am still a little concerned about places that LPS, that it's not our domain, but our kids are practicing there. And I'm wondering if perhaps Director Peterson or Mayor Nicholson or anyone who might be able to comment on that, is there somewhere that LPS kids are and we aren't going through these processes because it's not in our, again, it's not our domain. And where do we need to improve this? So if anyone would like to speak to that, I'm just thinking, Gallagher Park,
Could you come up to the mic? Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, so our trainers, when they're at practice or at a game, they will have the portables. And our coaches are all CPR trained and AED, so they have to be to have the job. So, but yeah, they're I feel there's probably a gap in some places, like you said, Barry Park is
Lynn
for
Woods.
one. Lynn Woods, and as a cross-country coach, the special needs camp has one, but access, if it's not open. So yeah, so that's definitely something we're looking into to making sure that those spaces are going to be covered.
That's terrific. And I think just, the way going forward here is to have this incredible and very detailed checks everywhere. So thank you, all three of you. Thank you all for coming tonight, for your time, and please.
The emergency response in Lynn is like 5 minutes.
Yes.
So we're fortunate that we live in a place where it's not going to be half an hour, 45 minutes till EMS arrives with the AED. So it's going to be a rapid response.
Absolutely, yeah. It always has been with Lynn Fire, Lynn PD.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, but again, this is what's in our domain,
Yeah.
and that's the reason it's before us today. That's the reason it's on the agenda, and that's the reason that my colleagues and I just wanted to discuss it tonight. So, thank you all. Any further questions? Oh, Member Satterwhite, please.
Thank you for your presentation. So great to see you guys' faces again. So I just wanted to make note that I echo what you said in regards to, but when I was working at LPS as a school nurse, we had limited AEDs. So under you guys' leadership, I want to thank you for, we've definitely improved and just it's become more available. So thank you for that. In addition to that, I just wanted to put out some encouragement. I feel like you guys offer all these CPR AED courses, and they're very underutilized as offerings, and even for the students, like I encourage the students, if there is a class for you to take it. The teachers, I know it's on your own time, but it's definitely worth it. So just wanted to give that comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. After that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. The motion to adjourn. Great. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Roll call, please.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Correct.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to call to order the curriculum subcommittee meeting. Roll call, please.
Member Satterwhite?
Present.
Member Gately?
Present.
Member Pena?
Present.
I'd like to invite Kelsey Bartlett, Assistant Director of Early Learning, to present adoption of pre-K curriculum.
Good evening.
Oh, I can.
Kelsey, I'm just going to interject before you
Please,
start. Kelsey and I had met earlier with Member Satterwhite as the chair of this committee, and poor Kelsey put together such a beautiful presentation, and as you see in your packet, it's fruitful in the labor that she put into it, but we have asked her to cut it down tonight, but we wanted to put it out there to say, if there are things that you feel you need to dig into deeper and you have questions that come later, feel free to send them along and we will get them to you after, rather than feeling like you might not
Thank you.
capture everything. Thank you. Take it away.
Yeah, I have a tendency to be a little bit excited, but this is exciting. So thank you again for having me this evening. My name is Kelsey Bartlett. I am the Assistant Director for Early Learning here in Lynn. And, like Lori said, I am going to move fairly quickly because there's a lot to share, but I'm available for questions at any time. The Lynn Public Schools pre-K curriculum adoption process. These are just the pieces that I'm going to run through with you tonight, explaining the opportunity that shared high-quality instructional materials for preschool classrooms present for early learners across the city of Lynn. I will describe the process of reviewing and selecting the Boston Focus curriculum. I will explain the evidence and the rationale for adopting Boston Focus for Lynn's pre-K core curriculum, and I will explore a sample unit with you. And then you have a lot more you can dig into. It's the dark blue folder if you're looking for it. So why HQIM in preschool and pre-kindergarten? So at its heart, implementing a shared high-quality curricular program across Lynn's pre-K classrooms increases equity and levels the playing field for all learners by providing a consistent learning experience regardless of classroom, school, or program. I do want to remind you that the PRISM grant that has funded this opportunity has also encouraged us to bring in our community-based organizations as well. So we are formally partnered with the Gregg House Preschool as well as the REAL program. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that, because that's like a huge highlight and, in my opinion, a huge win here to create alignment citywide. So this is just a little bit of information for you about how Massachusetts defines high quality instruction for pre-K. It's organized into 4 domains, which are developmentally appropriate and intellectually challenging, learning goals and assessment, implementation supports, and inclusiveness and individualization. Those domains are organized into 40 unique indicators that are categorized by 6 domains. I am going to keep it moving. This directly connects to our Lynn Public Schools instructional core and our strategic initiative. So those are just a couple of highlights there, but I continue to be excited over and over again when Dr. Cohen reminds us to connect things to our instructional core. Boston Focus is already naturally connected. So that's a beautiful thing, and we are looking forward to highlighting some of that for you tonight. So the review and selection process, this is the first part of the process was to learn and prepare and to investigate and select. So the first step of that was to assemble a representative curriculum review team. We are very thankful to all of these members for taking the time to collaborate and work through this process, because these are a list of very busy people. Jacqueline Gallo, our Director of Early Learning, myself, Gentry White-Frazier, who is the preschool director at the Gregg House Preschool, Lisa Roy, who is a multilingual education specialist at the Early Childhood Center, Janelle Gibney, who is an inclusion preschool teacher at Harrington Elementary, and she's here to support tonight. Thank you. Ashley DeLucia, who is a small group learning preschool teacher at Hood Elementary, Erica Stevenson, who is a dual language preschool teacher at the Early Childhood Center. We grappled with this decision because we obviously wanted it to be as representative as possible. Initially, the AIR process wanted us to limit it to 5, and I kind of had to find a way to explain why I needed all 7 members. They agreed, and we felt like that was a representative team, but not too big to not come to consensus. The second step was to review the Early Education and Cares curriculum reports to determine which materials to prioritize exploring. This is how we landed on officially reviewing the Boston Focus materials. The next step was to engage with the AIR training to build team knowledge and skill in the curriculum review process. Even though members of the team had been through this process before, it's really important to get a refresher to make sure that we're being really targeted in the way that we are reviewing and making this selection. The next step was to review and rate the Boston Focus materials independently, and then to juxtapose our ratings with the ratings that were available. The next step, step 5, was to meet to share and compare our rubric ratings. So each member of the selection team rated the materials individually. We then came together to come to consensus. And then the step 6 was the consensus meeting. Our rationale for Boston Focus, so I'll just highlight a couple of reasons. It's, like I said earlier, a really exciting opportunity to align the Lynn Public Schools district approach to preschool curriculum choice and rollout, which also includes both the planning and implementation, right? We all know that the materials are maybe 10% of the battle, right? It's that implementation plan, that ongoing cycle of coaching and support that's going to be absolutely vital. I love this slide. I love that this program really highlights that the joy of learning is something that we begin in the early learning classroom, and it's something that my hope is that children will carry that throughout their years. we need joy just as we need air, right? So this is a standards aligned, explicit and foundational skill building, like all of the writing for authentic purposes, all of these pieces that you see listed here, many of them are accessed through play, which, as we know, research shows that when children can play with ideas and work together, they are going to have a much more, like a stronger experience and stronger outcomes of what they will learn in their classrooms. The structure of the curriculum is very much centered on the read aloud, and I'm really excited to share with you that all of the components grow out of the stories. When we chatted with Member Satterwhite, she asked that I put the list of read alouds in there for you, which I thank you for that recommendation, because I think it's really important that you're able to see what's available for 3-year-olds as well as 4-year-olds and how it relates. I didn't orient you to the packet, but I did put a table of contents in there because I was trying to just keep it going. But if you have questions, let me know. So what are students learning? There are materials for both 3- and 4-year-old students. So this is an overview of the pacing, the focus arc of the units, and the standards that are addressed. We do have multi-level mixed age classrooms here in Lynn, thanks to the amazing expansion that's been supported by the city. And so there is a need to make sure that we're outfitting our teachers with everything that they need to meet all of those needs. So we have a strategic plan that we're working on to make sure that we get the right amount of, each level of curriculum. Focus on pre-K alignment across the year. So this shows kind of what I just alluded to, because I got a little ahead of myself. But you can see how over the months throughout the year, what's happening with both 3- and 4-year-olds, while it is slightly different, what the units are covering, there's a natural connection to connect what's happening with both 3- and 4-year-old students. This highlights some of the difference between focus on 3s and focus on 4s. Something I'd like to highlight for you here is that with math, the core curriculum, this is an open source curriculum, so the math recommendation that they use is building blocks for pre-K math. We're already using that in the district. We've been using it for a number of years, so our pre-K teachers do have experience with it. We would obviously want to support, stronger implementation as we go, because we can always improve, but I think that that's a huge and very important point to make, that we already have a piece of this in our classrooms, so the learning curve is not as steep as it might be with, some other adoptions, which I think is a great advantage. Like I said, there's many resources in there. I tried to organize them for you, but the differentiated access and adapted resources are a huge highlight. Planning always begins with the original curriculum, but together we use adaptive resources to make sure children can access content. There are adapted read-alouds for all of, it's not something that teachers have to go create, it's already created, it's there for them. That way they can focus on tailoring the materials to their students, not spending time creating those materials. Classroom, I'm going to move a little fast now through the pictures. Classroom environment, I did provide the classroom environment checklist for you on the left side of your folder. I thought that was something important to pull out and highlight, because I think it's a really great way to use a tool to help provide feedback to a teacher, right? It removes emotion, it just really focuses on what's there, what's not there, and how can we improve. And I think that's a great thing. It's a rubric, if you will, checklist. There is evidence of clear routines and systems in this program. If you know about early learning, routines and structure are at the foundation of everything that we do. And the way that this program uses standard centers and standard practices to orient the children and what they're doing, it takes some of the lift off of teachers. They're not re-explaining brand new ideas. They are setting routines, they're laying a foundation, and then growing throughout the course of the year. The formatting's a little funny. There are also visuals that share information about the daily schedule and then the classroom routines that I just spoke about. Representation of children and their families is encouraged throughout, and as we all know, it's obviously really important to be displaying student work, and that is embedded into the directives in the teacher planning guides, in the webinars that roll out all the information. Something you should also know is that the home links and letters, I included one example of one of the home letters. Those are available in 10 languages, which is really exciting, and I apologize. I realized that I didn't put that in your packet, and you should know that. So The 10 languages that are available are Arabic, Cape Verdean, Chinese, English, French, Haitian Creole, Portuguese, Somali, Spanish, and Vietnamese. So to know that those materials already exist and are already translated in double the number of languages that we currently standardly put out, that's great for me, right? And all of us, right? It's great for our families. Obviously we would take the time to have it translated if we needed to, but again, having the materials embedded, ready to go, helps us to really focus on centering the learner and making sure it meets their needs. Accessing and storing materials in completed work or in progress, the work is never done, right? So I really appreciate the way that the program encourages teachers and students to have learning as a continuum, right? We're not necessarily starting and finishing today, we're growing each day together, and it encourages teachers to have a space in their classroom where children can be continuing to work. If you check out the little section about the beautiful things, you'll be able to connect that. There are defined learning spaces and centers, which we know is best practice in any classroom, but there is an intentional rollout and design in all of the webinars and the supporting materials that show teachers exactly how to achieve this. We're not just saying, set up learning centers, be intentional. We're modeling that. The materials that support communication and vocabulary development, I know I spoke a little bit about those earlier, but we have the materials ready to go, and those, obviously if we were to move forward with this, we would print all of those materials and make sure that teachers had those on hand to provide for students. Once again, representation of curriculum and children's work is at the center of the way that this program is thought out and planned, because the child is the center of everything we do. Designated space and materials to support the social emotional well-being of a child and their self-regulation is a top priority in the preschool classroom. So not only do the topics and units embed this learning into and throughout the units, but there are specific resources that are in there to help. And I know the packet's kind of big, but I just wanted to share all of that with you. So I want to just take you a little bit into an example focus unit. This is unit 1 for the 4-year-olds. It's called Together in Our Community. As you can see, the big ideas are to, center the child as an important part of their community. Sometimes when you come to preschool, it's the first time you've left your family and really gone out into the world. And so centering them is an important part of our community. Sharing about how families are part of our school community. We all make important contributions, we share, and we all communicate together. You can see what the guiding questions are. Those help teachers to really, no pun intended, but stay focused on those big ideas and goals and to make sure that their content and language objectives connect. This is a sample. These are just the images of most of the front covers of the Unit 1 books. I believe if you look on the left-hand side, you have the list of the read-alouds for both 3 and 4-year-olds. And then this is just a little example of what I know I spoke earlier about the routines and how these are centers that are carried throughout each unit, the way that they are implemented, and the materials obviously differ from unit to unit, but the standard titles on the centers and what is expected, for the objective in those centers remains the same to allow teachers to have a predictable routine that supports the student's development. So I just wanted to break down for you the components of the instructional time and the purpose. So you see here, each day begins with a community meeting. There's vocabulary instruction that leads into the writing instruction. It gives you both the minutes and the purpose. It's very explicit. There's no secrets here. Very explicit information for teachers about what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how. We then move into the read aloud, like I said, which is at the center of all of the work. Into some foundational literacy skills, storytelling and story acting to help kids have some fun with dramatic play. Literacy small groups, the building blocks is the math instruction that I spoke about earlier, and then to move into some small group instruction to practice and reinforce those skills. And then additional centers for the literacy block, and then thinking and feedback time. I really love that is explicitly added in there, because sometimes I know when I was in the classroom, sometimes just getting to that closing piece can be really challenging, but it's really important. It's really important to carve out the time to sum up the learning. I'm probably over time, but oh, there we go. Okay. As you see, I have a hard time being summative, but so I am here to officially recommend that we adopt the Boston Focus on Pre-K as it represents an important investment in the youngest learners in our district. This high-quality, research-based curriculum provides educators with the tools, guidance, and flexibility needed to create engaging, developmentally appropriate learning experiences that foster curiosity, joy, and a strong foundation for lifelong learning. It aligns with our commitment to equity, culturally and linguistically sustaining practices, and high expectations for all children. By adopting Boston Focus on Pre-K for 3s and 4s, we are taking a meaningful step toward ensuring that every child enters kindergarten prepared to learn, grow, and thrive. I respectfully ask you for your support in improving this recommendation. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Member Pena?
Thank you for the presentation. Appreciate it. Very thorough. You answered one of my questions, and that one of the questions I had was this, in different languages. And so we don't have the materials already created. We're not going to adopt something and then find out 6 months later we're still waiting for it to be translated.
No, yeah.
It already exists. It's been reviewed.
Yeah, it already exists. And also, just so you're aware, like what's happening in Boston right now, the Focus in Espanol for Pre-K was piloted this year. That is going to be posted on the Boston Public Schools website as an open resource by September. And the Focus in Espanol for kindergarten is being piloted with Boston Public Schools dual language classrooms this year and will be available in September of 2027. So right now, this official recommendation is for for this year, and then moving forward, if that were to work out, we would obviously link in dual language classrooms as well when the resources are available. But we are really lucky that the PRISM funding can cover the books, all the read alouds, the materials, and just all of the things, curriculum says to put a sponge in a bowl of water and squeeze it, right? Work on your fine motor. We need to provide the bowl and the sponge, all of the things, right? So nobody's going to the dollar store and, purchasing that. We want to be able to provide everything that the teachers need.
Because it's important. We have a big Espanol community in
Sí,
Lynn.
señor. Sí.
Not only Boston, Lynn. We have a big L community. And
Absolutely.
It's really important. Everyone gets educated. Thank you.
Member Castellanos?
Kelsey, thank you so much. I saw the packet earlier, the one that we were talking about, and I was like, this is going to be a long one.
Sorry.
No, but you also had some really rich, I noticed that there was some good information. Actually, I guess my questions right now for this particular presentation was around the rollout for professional development, on how our staff are going to digest this curriculum. Can you kind of walk us through that? Because this is a really twofold. It feels like this is a lot. So can you kind of, sorry, Kelsey, I don't mean to stop. I threw you this. I knew it was a curveball.
My languages.
Apologize. But if we could talk a little bit about what that's going to consist of, because
absolutely.
timelines and how we implement it, just because. Again, there's I don't know, when I think about curriculum, I think about the people who are going to carry this out.
The support.
Right? The stars.
Absolutely, yeah. No, thank you for asking that question, because that is a really important question. So this would be, as we know, a true implementation plan requires constant feedback, coaching cycles, and teacher support. So this is, it's not a one and done thing. It's not like we do a rollout in August and say, have a great time, good luck. So, we would obviously start with rolling out professional development in August and then continuing to roll that out throughout the school year for those who weren't able to attend. But again, the 3-year process really begins with the vision setting and the alignment across, not only at LPS, right, but making sure that we keep our community-based organizations looped in and making sure that they also get that support, which looks a little bit different because they're two different spaces. But is it okay if I answer that question by defining what our criteria for success is? Because this is kind of how we're designing our planning documents. Our criteria for success for the implementation plan is that staff understand the purpose and structure of the curriculum. There are clear shared expectations for year 1 of implementation and that those are defined. Teachers feel informed and prepared, not overwhelmed, like you said. And that leadership also has identified the key systems and supports needed for rollout. As you know, certain Lynn Public Schools buildings have the preschool, so we want to make sure that those building leaders are also empowered and equipped to support their teachers as well. And then also... Sorry, it is a long one. Our professional learning focus, criteria for success that we set is to understand the structure and components of the curriculum, to build awareness of strong pre-K instruction. We started some of that this year. We were able to provide 4 sessions of pre-K specific PD through the PRISM grant this past year. We also would aim to develop a shared understanding of expectations for implementation. I think I alluded to it earlier. It shouldn't be a mystery about what we're doing and why. We want to really make sure that's clear and concrete and follow through with our teachers to support them. And then again, to align the leadership and support staffs around the roles in implementation. You know, how obviously I would, be supporting this in a big way, but it takes a village. So, tapping into that PRISM leadership team. We have a domain 1 pre-K specific sub-team that is also another diverse group of educators, both CBOs and Lynn Public School side, including special education, multilingual education, and classroom teacher, to collaborate to make sure we're not working in silos and that we're working together to support the teachers for our students.
I love that, Kelsey, so much. It's very exciting. I'm telling you, from 8 years ago when we first had this as an idea, right, to see it come to fruition. Yeah. I think what sticks out also is just the universal, basically pre-screening.
Yes.
Like getting our youngest, really exposed to learning and to learn how we can meet their needs at such a critical age and a step. And it's nice to see that we are invested in making it happen. And Kelsey, and the whole team, everyone that's been part of this process, it's been really remarkable and inspiring to witness. And as a dad myself, I have almost a 2-year-old, and now my mind's thinking pre-K and kindergarten, and like I just it's emotional. Like it's just I'm very grateful to be here at Lynn Public Schools. Like I feel confident, I feel reassured. Like as a parent, a future parent to Lynn Public Schools, I just feel really. It's good. It's really. I'm grateful. That's all I got to say. So,
thank you.
Member Ortiz-McGrath.
Thank you so much, Kelsey, for the presentation. I'm really excited. I'm very familiar with the HQIM. I think the fact that we're bringing strength-based and we're not working under a deficit mindset is absolutely critical. Pre-K is the foundation, and we know that our students can definitely step up to the challenge. A few questions that I had. So thank you for answering the professional development question, because that was going to be one of them. How often is the curriculum review team going to be meeting? So I guess some of the questions that I have is making sure that, our teachers are prepared to roll this out, but also that they have a voice. So how often is the curriculum team meeting, but also is there room and opportunity for educators to share feedback so that as you're rolling this out, if we need to pivot or we need to make some adjustments, that's able to happen?
Definitely. Thank you for asking that question. So part of the way that we intend to progress monitor the rollout is by going in, right, looking at the routines in classrooms. If we're seeing that those consistent routines are being rolled out, right, and they're being successful, then that's, an indicator that the support that we have provided is hitting that mark. If we're seeing that we're not necessarily there yet, it helps to inform us about what type of coaching cycle we need to revisit. But there also is going to be absolutely, to your point, feedback surveys and many opportunities to gather that feedback, because we've never done a rollout of this nature in pre-K with this many classrooms. Full transparency, I've never done a project this size, and I really believe in getting that feedback to make sure that the teacher voice is front and center. I feel lucky that I'm not too far removed from the classroom, and I hope and wish that the teachers will continue to be transparent with me the way they have been since I took this role on, because we are a team. And I think it's really important that their voices are elevated. But I like your idea about also using the curriculum review team as a lever for that. I think that's a really great idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Gately.
Kelsey, thank you very much. This was wonderful, and I really enjoyed looking at your curriculum structure. It's not your fault we're asking questions.
Oh, yeah.
Could take us an hour, and it's okay, Kelsey. Okay. So I like the way that you have your focus arc of units. You provided that for the parents and for all of us, for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. I like your reading aloud. I especially like this, the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
That was perfect. And it should be really easy to evaluate.
Yeah,
You think?
yeah. And there's a pacing calendar as well.
Yeah.
And just so you know I didn't orient you with the folder. This is like the tip of the iceberg because I felt like I already used a lot of paper.
It's okay. And I love that you showed the layouts for the committee so they could see what
Yeah.
it would look like in a classroom and the assessment. I just really liked all of it. So with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve. It's called Boston Focus.
Boston Focus on pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds.
Okay, Boston Focus for or on?
On pre-K.
On pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds.
Second.
To the full committee.
I second that.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Oh, sorry. No, I think.
Oh,
Pe-
Member
Pena.
Pena, sorry.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Still moving.
Oh, we got one more.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's another item. Report cards.
All right, so on to the next item on the agenda. I'd like to invite Jennifer Rubalcava and Deputy Julie Loof to present elementary report cards.
Good evening, everyone. Subcommittee Chair Satterwhite and Subcommittee Members Gately and Pena. Tonight we're here to present on our elementary school report cards. First, I'd like to introduce Dr. Jen Rubalcava, who will be presenting with me this evening. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to give you some background on this work. As you know, Dr. Cohen convenes 2 teacher cabinets, one for elementary and one for secondary educators. At the start of the year, our elementary cabinet shared an identified priority that they had to refine the existing K-2 report cards, standards-based report cards, and to develop standards-based report cards for 3 to 5 in order to bring greater consistency across the district. This team met monthly throughout the school year and consistently brought forward feedback from their respective school communities. We are fortunate to have several cabinet members with us tonight, and I would like to acknowledge them. First, we have Jenny Hennessy from Aborn Elementary School. We have Lisa Finnegan from Shoemaker Elementary School. We have Rita Gallo from Ford Elementary School. We have Kaylee McHale from Shoemaker Elementary School. And we have Sarah Krasowski from Lincoln Thompson Elementary School. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Rubalcava, who will walk us through the vision for standards-based report cards and their alignment to our instructional core.
Thank you. So what are standards-based report cards? Standards-based report cards focus on what students know and are able to do in relation to specific grade level skills and concepts. So instead of giving one overall letter grade, they provide more detailed information about a student's progress toward meeting each standard. This helps families better understand their child's strengths, areas for growth, and their specific skills they are working on in school. It also helps teachers give clearer feedback and support students based on their individual learning needs. The goal is to make report cards more meaningful, more specific, and more connected to what students are learning in the classroom. So why the shift? Standards-based report cards are aligned directly with our state and district learning standards. This ensures that what is reported to families reflects the skills and knowledge students are expected to learn at each grade level. They also provide clearer feedback on student learning. Rather than seeing a single grade, a letter grade, families receive specific information about what their child has mastered and what additional supports may be needed. So this creates more meaningful picture of student progress. Standards-based report cards encourage a growth mindset. This focus shifts from earning a grade to developing skills over time. Students are encouraged to view learning as a process and to understand that growth and improvement are parts of success. This shift aligns with our current kindergarten through grade 2 report cards by extending a standards-based approach across all elementary grades. So we create a more consistent experience for students, families, and educators. This consistency helps everyone better understand expectations and student progress from year to year. Ultimately, our goal is to provide families with clearer, more accurate information about student learning while supporting high expectations and continuous growth for every student. So as Dr. Cohen has reiterated, we are tying everything back to the instructional core. Standards-based report cards are not a separate initiative. They are an extension of our vision for teaching, learning, and student success. Standards-based report cards support rigorous grade-level learning. They focus on students' progress towards grade-level standards, emphasize mastery and essential student progress towards essential learning, and maintain high expectations for all students. And the report cards reflect what students are expected to know and will be able to do at each grade level. They align with our commitment to students doing the thinking and the talking. They align with our commitment to, rather than focusing on points or average standards-based reporting, value students' understanding, reasoning, and growth over time. It encourages students to reflect on their learning and take ownership of their progress. So standards-based report cards support culturally and linguistically responsive instruction as well. The language used is clear, family-friendly, and centered on learning goals. So this helps families better understand their child's progress and creates meaningful opportunities for home-to-school communication and partnership. So our standard-based report cards strengthen responsive, scaffolded, and differentiated instruction by identifying specific strengths and areas for growth. Teachers can better target instruction, provide appropriate support, and ensure students receive timely intervention when it's needed. So we have a vision, and what we did, so we are refining the K-2 report cards, and we're transitioning the 3-5 report cards. So what we're doing with the K-2, we reduced the number of standards. We removed the I can statements for clarity, and then we aligned the format to match the upper grade levels. So we changed the wording so that it matches what grade 3-5 is going to look like. And for 3-5, we're transitioning those report cards completely from traditional grade letters to a standards-based system. And we're also going to be aligning these report cards. So when we do transition and align them, we're aligning them to the MCAS language as well. And it's going to be consistent through, so K-5. So right now we actually have 2 or 3 different types of report cards that we're sending home to families for K-5, and we're going to align them so that they're all consistent, the wording's the same, even the grades that we're using, and those are going to be aligned to the MCAS standards.
So these changes are really grounded in the need to better align our assessment practices and data across schools and grades. One priority of the teachers was to make sure that we use consistent student and caregiver-friendly language so that expectations were clear at every grade level. We also worked to ensure alignment, as Jen said, with MCAS language so that students' experience in classrooms reflect how they are assessed statewide. Another key goal was the ease of use. For both teachers implementing the tools and for families trying to understand student progress. This approach really increases transparency, giving parents clearer insight into what their child are learning and how they are progressing. So after our final meeting in May, we realized that there was still more important work to be done. And so to support this, we have sub-teams actively meeting right now to focus on implementation planning. This slide outlines the rollout plan for teachers and school leaders if the new report cards are adopted tonight. Next week at our principal meeting, where we've been providing them monthly updates throughout the process, we will present the finalized report cards if adopted. The following week, teachers will have the opportunity to review the report cards during their PLC time. At the start of next year, we'll provide some professional development focused on the design and purpose. Then we'll also share common rubrics to ensure consistency in the rating scales and how they're applied across schools and classrooms. And in November, we will provide how-to videos for teachers, including guidance on navigating and using the new report cards. For parents, we also wanted to have an implementation plan. So we recognize this will be a shift for families, but we do believe it will be a welcome shift. Over the summer months, we will begin communicating this transition to families so that they're well-informed and prepared. In the fall, we will release a family-friendly video that's available in multiple languages to introduce the new report cards and explain the rating scales. During the fall open houses, which each school has, families will receive and have access to the report cards along with a companion guide to help explain each component, also in multiple languages. In November, schools will host a Q&A session, and we will share a translated FAQ document for families. And then in December, families will experience, hopefully, the new report cards in practice following the first trimester of the year. So Dr. Rubalcaba explained that there are 3 different rating scales that we currently have, and our goal throughout this process was to create a system that was consistent across all grade levels. So this variation, we have one for K to 2, one for 3 to 4, and one for 5, can be confusing for students, for families, as they move from grade to grade. Our proposed report card introduced a uniform grading scale across K to 5 aligned with MCAS language. So each standard will be evaluated using 4 clear categories: exceeding, meeting, partially meeting, or not yet meeting grade level standards. This approach provides clear expectations for students, improves communication with families, and ensures alignment. So this, in your packet, I provided everyone with a manila folder. You have copies of both the current report cards and the proposed report cards. One of the key pieces of feedback that we heard from the teacher cabinet at the very beginning of this process was that the current K-2 report cards were cumbersome and very lengthy. This feedback was consistent from both families and teachers. So when, for example, when printed, this current kindergarten report card is 3 pages long. It makes it challenging to navigate and difficult for families to understand. The new proposed report card, kindergarten report card, is significantly simplified, now designed to fit on one single page, thanks to our cabinet members. This makes it much more user-friendly for both teachers and families while still clearly communicating the standards. This is our current grade 3 report card. It is not standards-based, which creates a disconnect as students transition from grade 2 to grade 3. This inconsistency was one of the key reasons why we wanted to prioritize developing and implementing, hopefully, 3 to 5 standards-based report cards. This is the proposed grade 3 report card, fully aligned to Massachusetts state standards across all core content areas. And as a reminder, you do have both the current and the proposed. So thank you for your time and consideration this evening, and we welcome any questions or feedback that you may have.
Member Gately?
I just want to say, this is so clear. I think that most parents will welcome how thorough you have been, so that they get a video, they have a parents' night to go over it. To the teachers on the cabinet, thank you so much. You made it clear for all of the staff, and also helping them to understand it. And I just appreciate that, and definitely will be making the motion to move ahead.
Thank you.
Member Satterwhite.
Thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to note, as a parent of a first and second grader, I can attest to the lengthy, you can look at it and see it's only like 3 pages, but it looks very overwhelming once they start writing on it, and it is definitely hard to understand. So thank you for making this a more unified approach. I appreciate it, and are in full support of this. Thank you. Member Pena?
Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for the whole team for the work you put in there. And just to echo, like, as a parent too, that makes it a lot clearer, much easier to see. And I have 2 kids in LPS right now, and it's a lot easier for us. So thank you. I appreciate it. We definitely will be making the motion, right? To bring it to the full committee.
Any other questions? No? Member Gately?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the elementary report cards and move it to the full committee.
Second.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
Now
you
I'd
again
like
to
to
the
make a
cabinet
motion to-
members for
Thank
coming.
you.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll
Member,
call.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
All right, ready? Yep, open mic. All right, we will move into the open mic session, which is designed to provide an opportunity for citizens to express their views on matters of concern to the school committee. The sessions are not designed to encourage debate or lengthy exchange of views, but are to have the committee understand numerous points of view. The committee would appreciate speakers keeping their presentations to 3 minutes in order to accommodate as many people as time permits. The chair reserves the right to limit the number of speakers on the same topic to 3. All speakers must be at least 18 years of age or enrolled in high school in the public schools district and having discussed their views, thank you, with a student government representative. The chair reserves the right to rule the speaker out of order if they feel that the speaker's comments are personal in nature. If a speaker's comments are directed at a school committee member or a member of school administration in attendance, that member, through the chair, may address the individual. We'll start with Kiana Jolibais. If you could please step forward and share your name and address.
Hi, my name is Kiana Jolibais, and today I'd like to address working for restorative support policies in schools. So good evening. My name is Kiana Jolibais, and I am part of a campaign called Speak Up for Youth. The issue I'm presenting to you today is one my team and I have been working on together. All of our comments will be available to you as copies. In high school, I befriended people from all walks of life. I had friends who had to step up as second parents for their siblings, and friends who were financially fortunate enough to be able to fully dedicate their time to academics. One of the friends I remember the most, however, was a boy who came from an unstable home and struggled with substance abuse. He was a very funny and loyal friend, but was consistently failed by the adults around him. He faced abuse at home and was placed into foster care, and at times he was forced to live with a friend. His substance abuse landed him in rehabilitation programs throughout high school, and he eventually attempted suicide. I will never forget what it was like to talk him out of his plan the night he poured his heart out to me. School was the main problem he faced and what proved to be the barrier that stood between him and the help that he desperately needed. He was constantly punished and suspended by administration for a variety of reasons, like skipping school, and wasn't offered nearly enough resources from guidance counselors or school social workers. He ultimately was expelled a month before his graduation simply for having too many disciplinary infractions, when all he needed was help. Schools need to rethink their disciplinary policies. Youth like my friend are constantly labeled as troubled or non-compliant, when in reality they are crying out for the help they are consistently denied. It should be a priority to work towards restorative and trauma-informed discipline policies in order to give our youth the chance they deserve at a thriving life. We need to begin to take the adequate steps necessary for the future that we deserve and demand. My friend faced extreme hardship when all he needed was help because of the policies in place that harmed rather than helped students in need. We want decision makers to know that their policies are impacting real lives and ignore the very intense and wide array of struggles a high school student may face. There are policies that help students, however. Policy 37H and 3/4 says that suspensions and other punishments should be policies of last resort rather than an early approach for students. I ask you to implement restorative policies like that in our schools in order to prevent harm to our students. We will be very grateful to have an opportunity to meet with school leadership to discuss our mission in depth. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to listen to us. If you'd like to connect, please contact our coordinator, India Larrier, at ilarrier@communitycatalyst.org for more information. Once again, I thank you for giving us the platform to speak up for our youth and the support you have shown us thus far by listening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. I'm sure we'll be in touch. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's be in touch.
Next, we have Rachel Washington. If you please say your name and address.
Hello, good evening. My name is Rachel Washington, and I'm here today in representation of a group called Speak Up for Youth, where we organize our peers to pursue compassionate school policies designed to help students recover, heal, and succeed rather than punish and stigmatize. My name is Rachel Washington, and I graduated as class of 2025 from KIPP Academy Lynn Charter School. I'm currently 19 years old and a sophomore studying psychology at Derlug University. There are a lot of times in high school where I felt overwhelmed and stuck behind. Juggling school, work, and my mental health caused me a lot of stress outside of the classroom. To a lot of people, it probably looked like I just wasn't paying attention or wasn't fully engaged, but in reality, I felt like I was falling behind trying to keep up with everything that life was throwing at me. One time, after being late and having missed most of an assignment, I remember feeling like most people saw my behavior before they saw the reason behind it. It felt like I was being judged by not only other students, but my own teachers based on what was happening in school without anyone actually asking me what caused these actions. I was fortunate in that I didn't have to worry about things like family instability, housing insecurity, or many of the challenges that some students face outside of school. Even so, I still struggled at times. That has made me realize that for students who are carrying those burdens, it can be even harder to stay engaged, meet expectations, and feel supported in the classroom. What made a difference for me was when one of my teachers actually took the time to check in with me and ask what was going on. Instead of having an immediate punishment or form of discipline, having someone actually listen to me felt like I wasn't just being ignored or disregarded. Once I felt supported, it was a lot easier for me to become more engaged and get back on track with my performance in school. I want the school community to know that there's almost always a story behind the behavior that you see. Students who are struggling don't always need more punishment. Sometimes they need someone who's willing to sit and listen. We need discipline systems that are fair, equitable, and supportive. And students should be included in shaping those decisions because we are directly impacted by the decisions that are made. Specifically, we are asking that teachers and staff be given the resources, training, and time to better understand what students may be dealing with outside of school and how those experiences can affect behavior in the classroom. We also believe students who have been directly impacted by school discipline should have regular opportunities to share their perspectives and help shape discipline policies, whether through student advisory groups or recurring discussion meetings. In addition, we hope to partner with you to explore available state funding for student mental health services and other community-based supports that can help students succeed. I'd like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak with you this evening, and we would like the opportunity to meet with you and the school leadership to discuss this issue further. You can reach us through our coordinator, India Larrier of Community Catalyst, at ilarrier, ILARRIER, at communitycatalyst.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Adriana Ripley. State your name and address, please.
Hello, good evening. My name is Adriana Ripley. I am 17 years old and currently a junior, almost a senior, at Lynn Classical High School. I work with a group of youth called Speak Up for Youth, and we have been working on this issue together. You will have copies of our comments for your reference. Coming to class late can be a very big problem in school. Although this can be a very common occurrence, many teachers will punish the student for arriving late to class instead of hearing the student's circumstance. This happens a lot with rules that the schools enforce, creating a very distrusting and fearful environment. When I was in the 8th grade, I was trampled by a group of students. We were all arriving to class about 20 seconds late, and a vice principal saw us from the end of the hall. The kids knew that arriving to class late resulted in a detention, so they all started running. Amongst all this chaos, I fell and dropped all my things with me. The kids started to run on me and stomped on my book, too. I came to class with a sore back, upset spirit, and a ruined book. Coming to class late can be a problem, but school policies like that should not get kids to start acting like this. This is why discipline policies need to be revisited in our schools. Policy 37H in 3/4 says that suspensions and other punishments should be policies of last resort rather than an early approach for students. Something that could be implemented is a space where impacted students, such as us, can give input on discipline policies, such as a quarterly focus group or student discipline advisory meeting. Students will start to trust their school and admin more and will not feel the need to run away from them. We would like an opportunity to meet with you and school leadership to discuss this issue further. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. Thank you for taking the time to listen and show support for students.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Next, we have Keila Lopez.
Kayla.
Kayla.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Lopez. I'm also a part of Speak Up for Youth. I am also speaking on the topic of working for restorative supportive policies in schools. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to speak before you all today and present my story. I'm 18 years old. I'm an honors college student, and I'm someone that have spent most of my life trying to do right and take care of the people around me, for my family and for myself. When I was 14, I became the person holding my household together. When my little sister was born a year later, my mornings looked like this. Wake up at 5:50, wake up my brother, wake up my mom for work, and make sure my mom got to the bathroom, and get my little sister ready for daycare, make sure my mom had everything she needed for work, then start to get myself ready to get to school. I was doing the work of a parent the moment I started high school. There were times I was late, not because I didn't care about school, but because I was carrying responsibilities that no one in my school knew about or thought to ask about. Instead of a conversation, I got detention. Instead of support, I got a record of tardiness that followed me and began to affect my grades. And the hardest part wasn't even the punishment itself. It was the feeling that my school wasn't seeing me. They saw a student who was late, who was underperforming and not present or active enough. They didn't see the daughter, the sister, the caregiver who was doing her absolute best every single morning and afternoon. That experience shook my confidence in a place that was supposed to support me. And I know I'm not the only student who has felt that way. I've since moved out on my own so I could focus on my education, and I'm proud to be in college on an honors track. But I carry this story with me because I want things to be different for the students still in those situations in classrooms right now, juggling responsibilities that adults around them cannot see. Okay. Schools need to be required to notify families and have a real conversation about the root cause of a student's behavior before any discipline is handed out. Tardiness, absences, and distractedness are often symptoms, not direct flaws. Discipline should always be the last resort, not the first response. When we address the cause instead of just the behavior, we don't just help one student, we change the culture of a school, making it known to be a safer and supportive space, promoting more productive and kind students. In a community like Lynn, where there were many students around me that were in a similar boat that I was, where lower income, some families, both parents have to work and they're very busy, so the responsibility of children kind of falls on the oldest child a little bit. And it's not any of our family's faults, but it does delay our ability to stay active in school and stay present in who we want to be. I didn't graduate with the best GPA or anything. I was not seen as, well, I was seen as a very active student in class, but I wasn't performing that way. It wasn't because I didn't like to learn or I didn't value my education. As I found out afterwards, I'm now on an honors track. I'm performing very highly in school. It was because I was struggling, and so many tardies and detentions kind of brought down everything a little bit more, and it weighed down on me greatly. So for this reason, I'm asking for an equitable selection of impacted students to be invited to participate in the schools committee to vote and have a say in policies that they are impacted by. The start to, and sorry, this is like off script, but I know that this is not directly Mayor Dickelson. Earlier this year, you started, I forgot what it was called, but kind of like the coming down on youth violence in communities. I have worked in this sector as well, and I found through some research and stuff that of the start of that is coming down on youth violence, youth substance use, and better youth performance in schools overall is making them feel supported. Obviously, making them know that they have a ceiling, they have someone to talk to, they have people that support them, that the people that are in their lives, the adults, want better for them and see their situation, see what's going on, and want to help them out. So,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you so much.
For information, email Ilaria.
We got it. We will be in touch.
Anyone else wishing to speak at open mic? Anyone else for open mic? Last call for open mic. Thank you to those folks who spoke. We will certainly be in touch. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was excellent. And that will close the open mic portion of the evening, and we will move into the 11th regular meeting of the school committee. Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Present.
Member Gately?
Present.
Member Ortiz-McGrath?
Present.
Member Pena?
Present.
Member Satterwhite? Present. Member Smith?
Present.
Mayor Nicholson?
Present. For those who are able, please rise for a salute to the flag. All right, next we have the minutes.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to accept the committee of the whole meeting on May 28th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And make a motion for the 10th, to accept the 10th regular meeting on May 28th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Any votes in the Buildings and Grounds Subcommittee?
There wasn't any votes, but we had a lovely presentation.
We sure did. That was excellent. Thank you. Athletic Subcommittee? No votes?
No.
Thank you. Curriculum Subcommittee?
Yes.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve and move, to approve and adopt the PK curriculum adoption process and recommendation and move it to the full committee. And also a motion to adopt the elementary report cards and move it to the full committee.
Second.
Second. Let's do those as two votes. So the first, the curriculum adoption. Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz-McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes. And the second, the report card. Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz-McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes. Thank you, Member Satterwhite, and thank you to all the work that went into those in the presentations. We appreciate it. Next, we have Connery Grade 5 students.
I'm really hoping the Connery families are still here. I saw Principal Valdez back there, and we have some students. We're really excited about this. Apologies that I know you've been waiting a long time to do this. We have a program at Connery around financial literacy, which is extremely exciting because we are looking at new graduation requirements that over the course of the next few years are going to incorporate financial literacy. So I'm going to invite up the Connery team to describe to us what they've been learning. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you again for the opportunity to come back here and share what we have learned since you approved our financial literacy initiative in the fall. So as we promised, our students, our entire student population embarked on a financial education journey inspired by the Jamaican proverb, every mickle make a muckle. That means every little bit adds up to something big. Through weekly banking Fridays and intentional classroom learning, students develop saving skills, goal setting, financial responsibility. Our K-2 students wrapped up the year reading and discussing money concepts with Cambridge Savings Bank representatives. A key component of our work was our amazing partnership with Brotherhood Credit Union. Through a series of 4 financial literacy models, our 5th graders learned about the differences between banks and credit unions, saving, goal setting, making budgets, smart shopping, careers, and pay. And if I may, I would like to shout out representatives from Brotherhood Credit Union. We have Bertha Ruiz and Mark Stevens here. And now I would like to turn it over to our principal, Kenby Valdez, who will share all of the great things our students were able to do. Thank you. So building on what they learned through Brotherhood Credit Union, our classroom teachers and curriculum instruction teachers, which we have a CIT here with us today, and one of the 5th grade teachers is present as well. They supported the students in applying their knowledge through the game of life. An AI-inspired project that challenged students to envision and plan for their future. Using AI tools, students researched careers, education, pathways, financial goals, and future lifestyles. And these are some of the career choices that our students made. Their learning culminated in a financial literacy showcase where students shared their work with their families and the school community members. They also presented to 4th grade students as a preview of what's to come for them next year. At the same time, our school-wide Every Mickle Make a Muckle savings initiative was in full swing. While K-4 students saved to provide each 5th grader with a financial planner for middle school, our 5th graders saved to leave a legacy gift for Connery. So we do have the book here, and we'll pass it down so you can see. Every 5th grade student would be getting one. And tonight we are very proud to share the voices of our students. So without further ado, it is our pleasure to introduce our 5th grade representatives who will tell you all about their learning journey and what financial literacy means to them. If you have questions at the end, they have a lot of answers.
Good evening, Sorry, it's okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Meet Mimi Chen, and my career choice for the Game of Life project is an accountant. Although we have several of my peers here and we all follow the same format to create our project, we will have one main presenter sharing some important parts of what we did.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Caroline Rosario, and my career choice for the Game of Life project is a nurse. I will be opening our questions and answers section of the presentation, and now I will turn it over to our main speaker.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Israel Adedokun, and my career choice for the Game of Life project is a surgeon. I would like to be a doctor because what I like to study is science and math, which is related to being a doctor. Also, I've been wanting to be a doctor since I was 5 years old, playing dress up, learning from papers, videos, and similar stuff like that. I anticipate to begin my career of being a doctor at the age of 32.
Yeah! Let's go! Same.
What's your salary? Salary is $550,000.
Yeah.
Base pay.
That's a
Base
salary.
pay. Yeah.
I would like to go to Harvard Medical School because Harvard has a reputation for having very excellent education and getting very brilliant students into the school. It will take me 8 to 12 years to complete my education and training. My tuition would be approximately $333,152. This is my house. I'd like this home because the house is big. I can fit many things inside of it, and I have a big garage for my 2 cars. Also, it's an extremely nice house with lots of bedrooms and bathrooms and at least 1 or 2 living rooms. In addition to the house, it's very lovely, and that's why I like it. The purchase price for this home is $1,575,000, and my monthly mortgage is $9,268. The 2 cars I chose were a 2021 Corvette. I would be able to afford a car like that only because I make a salary of $550,000.
Yeah, I love it.
The second car I chose was a 2026 Toyota Grand Highlander. I'd like this car because of how many people it could take, also because many people will still be riding a car like this in the future. As you can see, my monthly salary is greater than my monthly expenses by a factor of $29,564. And I can afford the career I want, but if I did not have enough money, I would try not buy a very expensive house that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars because not all jobs allow a person to do that well in the category of money. This is how I'd spend my money. I'd adopt a shepherd dog, give my mom money, take my mom places, travel to Nigeria to see all my friends if I have time, buy many different things, and decorate my house.
We are happy to answer any questions you may have.
Member Castellanos and Member Pena.
I think you all are wonderful, and I think having big visions and big dreams is so important. And I think what's more important too is it's the passion that you guys are driving behind all the work that you guys did with this program. I like to hear what your favorite part of this whole process was. Like, what was exciting about this program, and if there's any mentors you want to shout out, and the people who helped you, or even family members. Financial literacy is very important. I'd like to hear why.
One of my favorite parts about this project was the car, and someone who helped me with this part with the project was Mr. McCarthy, my teacher, because the math was very hard.
One of my favorite parts were that we were just like thinking realistically about our futures, and then me and my friend Dalen, we were thinking about like it was like funny. It was like about being roommates, and we were like trying to be like we're gonna buy canes and all that, and we were gonna go to the same college since we picked the same career, and we were like thinking about how we were going to do when we grow up.
The best part about this project was that we got to plan out our future, and one of the teachers that helped me a lot was Ms. Gromko.
Wow, shout out.
The part I liked The part I liked most about my game of life was that we got to be creative with it. I liked how we got to choose our career by our passions, and I also liked how we could pick many different things. Like, for example, for my car, instead of picking a car, I chose a motorcycle because I like motorcycles. I want to get one. Like, I really do.
Great, I had Member Pena, Member Gailey, and Member Ortiz-McGrath.
First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for being up here. It takes a lot for you to be here, and a shout out to the, Ms. Kendi, Ms. Brown for really bringing this up to the committee and adopting it. It's very, very important. I think it's important financial literacy. Other countries teach children financial literacy at an early age, you know, and I wish I had those opportunities growing up as a child here in Lynn, and I didn't get to learn about financial literacy till I was an adult. You know, I wish I knew a little earlier, and it's amazing that you guys are taking part of this, and I just want you to know that all your goals, all your dreams are attainable. If you want it, if you can think it, you can reach it. You know, I encourage you to chase your dreams, and I had a question. Are you teaching your siblings and maybe your parents about what you're learning with financial literacy? Are you teaching your younger siblings or maybe your parents? Because this is really important to know about how to fix your credit and all that stuff.
Ready to answer.
Yeah.
One of the first days we started this project, the first thing I asked my dad for was a bank account.
Good.
And then he asked me what would I do with this bank account, and I kind of had to explain to my mom and dad what would I probably do with the bank account.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, and big shout out to all the teachers too that really helped you with this, and this is amazing. Thank you.
Member Gailey.
I'd like to know from each of you, what was your career? We know one doctor, but what was your career? I'm just curious.
Surgeon.
My career was a cosmetologist.
My career was a nurse.
Ask them all.
My career was an electric engineer.
We missed you.
My career was an accountant because I like math and I like working with money, but I also like science.
It's a way to go.
My career was a nurse.
A nurse. And nurses make good money, too. This is one of my favorite. When the students from Connery come in to talk about their financial literacy, and I can't thank the Brotherhood enough for doing this, and Kimwe for bringing this to us every year. It's like a highlight. And thank you so much, and I wish you the best of luck with all of your careers. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Tuesday McGrath.
So first and foremost, very, very well done. Really proud of the presentation and just seeing you all work so closely together. Thank you to Brotherhood for your support and your encouragement. Our students, thank you to the administration and the teachers who have been involved as well. I always say if our students can visualize it, then they can achieve it. Continue to dream big. Continue to work towards this. Financial literacy and financial planning is so critical. We live in a very expensive world. So the fact that you're starting so young and building those foundations is absolutely important. So I just want to commend you for a job well done. I'm really proud of each and every one of you, and just always so impressed when our students present. You know, and it's, for me, it's you'll continue to always have our support. You know, but continue to work hard. You're definitely going to achieve it, and I can't wait to see what you guys are going to achieve in the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to share our learning. We hope you will continue to support this initiative each year, not just at Connery, but other schools in Lynn.
That was phenomenal. Thank you so much. Congratulations to the entire team and most of all the students. That was incredible. Next, we have another amazing milestone. Is Kayla here? Our student honoree.
She was here.
Is she here? Well, I know it's been a long evening, so I will read this into the record then, and we'll get it to Kayla. If you were at the Lynn Tech graduation, you are familiar with this extraordinary achievement, and so I'm going to share this Certificate says, the Lynn School Committee hereby extends with great pride and appreciation its most sincere congratulations to Kayla Rivera Malara from Lynn Vocational Technical Institute in recognition of your outstanding accomplishment of perfect attendance from kindergarten through grade 12 with no tardies, no dismissals during your entire time in the Lynn Public Schools. Wow. That's it. Wow. The mayor and members of the Lynn School Committee are honored to recognize your outstanding accomplishment and respectfully offer their warmest encouragement and best wishes for continued success in your endeavors. That is quite an accomplishment, and congratulations to Kayla. We'll get this to her. All right, next we have certificates of recognition for the Student Advisory Committee.
Tough acts to follow tonight. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Madam Vice Chair, and members of the school committee as a whole, Dr. Cohen, members of the administration. For the record, as always, Lynn Public Schools Compliance Officer Charlie Gallo. I really do enjoy presenting before Policy Subcommittee. That is true. But tonight is a special privilege. The Student Advisory Committee is here at this table, and Amelia at your table. The Student Advisory Committee is like the Student School Committee. It consists of students who are elected by their peers. They meet regularly, they adhere to open meeting law and to Robert's Rules of Order, and this year was the first year for the committee. So the group that you see here is a group of trailblazers, and they chose the path that they were going to take, and it was one of community and it was one of service, because they developed an idea for an LPS Community Opportunity Fair, which will begin next year. Basically, Lynn community organizations coming into the district, and students in the future will have a one-stop shop to see what their city can do for them, as well as what they can do for their city. Opportunity, exposure, networking, experience, and more. Along the way, the students met with Mayor Nicholson, Dr. Cohen, Representative Reed, former member Dugan, member Smith, member Ortiz-McGrath, and others. Dr. James McDonald, I recognize in the audience as well, who was a big part of our group. I just would like to read a short bio about each member if I could, and then they will receive certificates from the committee if I may. Thanks so much. Amelia Stank at the school committee table was elected chairperson. She recently graduated from Lynn Classical, ranked first in her graduating class with a GPA of 4.67. Amelia enrolled in 7 advanced placement courses as well as in early college classes since 9th grade. By the time of graduation, she earned 27 college credits. She's a member of the National Honor Society, an AP Scholar, a recipient of the Harvard College Book Award, proudly serves as president of the Classical Newspaper and Creative Writing Club, the Inclusivity Panel, and the Social Justice Club, where she organized a panel discussion featuring influential women. In addition, she shares her creativity as part of the dance team and supports her community through a role in the City of Lynn Youth-Led Mental Health Committee. Amelia is excited to pursue a college degree in special education with hopes of pairing it with a minor in dance or expressive arts to continue combining her academic interest with her love for creativity and connection. Thomas Ook recently graduated from Lynn English High School and is an exceptional young man who ranks 7th out of 511 students, graduating with a GPA of 4.5. A dedicated and driven individual, he balances academic excellence with meaningful extracurricular and community involvement. He works hard and works at Brooksby Village, where his leadership skills have earned him a promotion and a responsibility of training new staff already at his young age. At school, he serves as vice president of the Asian American Club. He is the co-founder of the dance club at Lynn English and a committed member of the boys volleyball team. In the community, he helps to organize volunteer efforts for the annual Cambodian New Year Festival at Lynn Commons, and Thomas is attending UMass Amherst in the fall. Fong Tran recently graduated from the Information Technology and Networking program at LVTI, ranked number 1 in his class with a GPA of 4.4. He's taken many honors, advanced placement, and early college classes while in high school, earned various computer certifications, started the math club at LVTI, is the president of the National Honor Society's academic committee, and outside of school is a member of Neighbor to Neighbor, where he serves as chairman of the social media committee. He has advocated to increase extracurricular funding for LPS students and oppose charter school expansion in the city. Fong is also a competitive gamer. His strong gaming portfolio has led to potential scholarship offers as an esports college athlete. And he's also the primary caretaker for a disabled relative. His dream is to one day design medical equipment to help persons with disabilities navigate the world more easily and have more fulfilling lives. Through his love of technology, he has a desire to study biomedical engineering or biochemistry in college. Jason Mao is a junior at FDCA, where he's accompanied by like-minded peers striving for both their high school diploma and associate's degree upon graduation. Jason sits at the top 3 of his class with a 4.63 GPA and a relevant history of academic recognition through North Shore Community College's Dean's List as well. Since freshman year, Jason has demonstrated leadership as a president and council member in his class. He's also deeply involved in LPS's music department, being the drum major for Lynn's All-City Marching Band, as well as the section leader for Lynn's All-City Concert Band and First City Percussion Ensemble. Jason's incredibly active in the Lynn community, a member of the TRIO, Upward Bound, and Neighbor to Neighbor youth engagement teams. He was also accepted to the fellowship at Lynn Community Health Center. Jason was our only junior on this committee, and would like to congratulate Jason because Jason was just elected to a second term for next year's Lynn Youth. And so thank you for letting me share a few words about this inaugural group, and I understand that the committee has some certificates, which I'll go ahead and share. I'll just read one. The mayor and the member, Lynn School Committee hereby extends with great pride and appreciation its most sincere congratulations. The mayor and the members of the school committee are honored to recognize your outstanding accomplishment and respectfully offer their warmest encouragement and best wishes for continued success in your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations and thank you so much for your service. A photo. Yep. Do a photo.
Oh, there you go.
Photo.
Students. Mr. Hussey, forget about that. You flew out of there. Group photo? Are we going over there?
School committee members in the photo? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, we gotta figure out a time. Right here. Right here. This is the. Okay, school committee members, will stand behind the students, please.
Give me some Rolos.
Tighten it up, please. If I can't see you, you can't see Miss Daly. Okay, there you go. All right, everybody look at this way. Big smiles. Excellent, thank you.
Awesome. 4-6, 4-5. It's awesome. Like the Avengers. I didn't know that was possible. 4-6. Like,
Goes that high?
yeah, I didn't.
She said it went up.
I know. 4, 6, 7 or something. That's impressive. I didn't know that.
All right. Congratulations. Next, we have community schools with United Way.
There's no slides. Sorry.
Just wanted to introduce United Way, Sarah Link, Renee Omalade, and also our community schools directors, Kay Rowe at Washington STEM School and Amy Kruniak at Ford Elementary School. They're going to be providing us with a community schools update tonight.
Oh, sorry.
Will you be sharing your GPAs as well?
You don't want my high school GPA.
I don't recall.
Seriously.
College is good, though.
Ready?
I'm
Awesome.
ready.
Wonderful. Good evening, everyone. My name is Renee Omalade. I'm the Senior Director of Community Schools with United Way, and we're excited to provide an update on our community school strategy with you all. So there are 5 community school districts across Massachusetts. Nationally, there are over 5,000 community schools. So Massachusetts is really in our blossoming phase of the community strategy, and it's really been an honor to have Lynn lead the way as one of our inaugural community school districts statewide. So, the community school strategy, we actually seen it tonight in hearing from a lot of the speakers and the young people, the importance of the community school strategy. The young lady who talked about some of the non-academic barriers to coming to school, that's an element of what the community school strategy addresses. The young people who are leveraging the resources of their community to do financial literacy, that's what the community school strategy is about. And then ultimately, the young people who are like, I have a 4.6 GPA, I'm getting these awards. That is the outcome and the goal that we believe community school helps to address. Next slide. And so Sarah will talk a little bit about United Way's role.
So some of you have been hearing us for several years now. Thank you for having us back. For those of you who are a little newer to both the strategy and our work at United Way, United Way has been doing decades-long work with school and community partnerships. And over the last 3 to 4 years, we've really become students and champions of the community schools movement. So you'll see here, we really are playing 2 distinct roles. One at the local level, really providing supports through partnership development, through funding, through local advocacy, really mobilizing funding to bring resources to the work of the 2 schools. And we're doing that work in several communities and spending quite a bit of time here with our friends at the Washington and the Ford and Lynn. At the same time, while we're supporting all of these local innovations and demonstrating positive outcomes locally, we're also launching the statewide movement. So we have the Massachusetts Coalition for Community Schools that is joined by our union friends from across the state, other statewide advocacy organizations to do similar statewide advocacy for this work, as we're really looking to transform educational systems throughout the Commonwealth. So this is a little bit more about the coalition. We've had this running joke around the office at United Way that we cannot contain the excitement for community schools at the State House. Our friend Rep. Reed is actually really leading a lot of that. So kudos to Sean if you're listening. We have had a number of acts this year at the State House, really supporting and aligning with the community school strategy. So we have an act to establish a special legislative commission. We are working on an effort we're calling school-centered neighborhood development that really calls for cohesive and coordinated education and housing efforts to really prevent displacement, to keep mixed income families in communities, to really help create thriving neighborhoods, thriving communities. We're also learning from efforts in Maryland and launched by Senator Sal DiDomenico to launch the Enough Act that hopefully everybody is following along to, that really has been transformational in Maryland. And then we have been asking for budget amendments. So lots and lots of activity at the State House. In addition to, in the second box here, really elevating the voices from community. So we've done a series of community visits to gateway cities across the Commonwealth this spring as part of the community schools and school-centered neighborhood development work. So we got to visit Boston and Lowell, two community schools districts, as well as other communities like New Bedford, Springfield, Worcester, who are really interested in the strategy. We had Dr. Cohen present at the State House to the Gateway Cities Caucus, and lots of advocacy happening. You all know this better than anyone else. We have been very intentional about aligning the strategy in each of the buildings to the Lynn Public Schools priorities. You can see here the 5 priorities. You all know it well, and really deeply tying all of our efforts with the strategy to the strategic plan, because this is not just another flashy initiative that's going to go away in a couple of years. This is something that we want to be really intentional and strategic about.
All right, so what are some of these elements of a community school strategy? Again, those of you who have heard us talk about this before has seen this graphic that really describes the ecosystem of a community. What I'll say is that if you look at the light blue ring and those key practices of a community school, we see them taking root in many of schools, but oftentimes they're in silos. And so the community school strategy really is about how are we making sure that there's a connected piece to this framework and these key practices of a community school. Go to the next slide. And then there's these 4 key elements that really make a community school distinct. One is, you'll hear from them in a few, but the amazing work of a community school director and coordinator. Schools are designed for teaching and learning, and we've seen trends over the years of increased need for non-academic supports, basic needs, safety net, and really having somebody who's at the school who's able to mobilize those resources is a critical component to this work. They are on the school leadership team. Shout outs to our school leaders who are here. Anthony and Amy Narrick, who have really positioned them as leaders in the schools. They're making data-informed decisions through their assets and opportunities assessments where they're looking to the community. They have advisory teams that includes community members, and then there's continuous learning and development for their work. And so, as I mentioned, in their work, they're assessing data, they're collaborating with community, and they're advocating for the resources of their community. And so, you know, this is an impact-driven strategy. You know, what we've seen in our 2 community schools are decreases in chronic absenteeism that really have been on a steady decline, on par with the district, but achieving a little bit more. And both of the schools have come out of turnover. Oh, okay. Amy will say it. This is my key to pass the mic to Amy.
Can you hear me? Okay. So what does Ford Community School look like? I had actually put this slide in a presentation when we had a site visit from Framingham. I think it paints the picture that kind of every community school is different based on the needs of that community. So here you see some pictures from Ford. Of the Hut Top project that we did over the summer. We had TJX do a food drive for us. We got products from Gillette. Old Neighborhood donated some holiday meat boxes. You can scroll to the next. And again, just, you know, kind of more pictures of painting what's going on at Ford. Okay. So 2 years ago, after my first year as Ford Elementary's community school director, I stood before the school committee and reported on data. Tonight I stand before you with stronger data, but more importantly with evidence that your investment in people, partnerships, and community schools is working. The infographic in front of you tells part of that story. Ford Elementary, along with Washington, has moved out of the bottom 10% of schools. Our accountability progress increased from 61% to 70%. Our accountability percentile increased from 7 to 14, and our chronic absenteeism continues to improve. Those numbers matter, and we are proud of them. But tonight, I want to shift the conversation away from the numbers themselves and focus on what made those numbers possible. When Lynn and United Way invested in this strategy, it invested in a model that was still relatively new in Massachusetts, but one that is now at the forefront of educational change. Community schools recognize that student success doesn't happen in isolation. It happens when schools, families, community partners, and educators work together to remove barriers and create opportunities for children. Last year, one of our community school partners, Olivia Grinstead, shared a quote here. She said that partnerships are not give and take, they are give and give. That perfectly captures what we have built at Ford. Because of those partnerships, Ford has become more than a school building. We have become a community hub. This year alone, more than $311,000 in grants, partnerships, volunteer time, and basic needs supports were leveraged on behalf of our students and families. We have been recognized by both Spur and the Salem Food Pantry as a food security champion and community hub, reflecting our commitment to ensuring students' basic needs are met so they can focus on learning. Our students extended their learning beyond the classroom through community-connected experiences, with second graders exploring Marine Center at the Northeastern Marine Center, third graders engaging in hands-on STEM and design thinking at Legoland, and fourth graders learning about accessibility, inclusion, and belonging through a visit to an inclusive playground. These experiences help our students see themselves as active members of their community while connecting classroom learning to the world around them. The impact of this work is extending beyond Lynn. We have welcomed site visits from districts such as Haverhill and Framingham, who came to learn about the community school model and explore how they may replicate some of the work happening here. That is a testament not just to Ford, but to Lynn's willingness to invest in a strategy before it came commonplace. Perhaps my favorite number on this infographic isn't tied to academics at all. It's that 85.1% of our students report feeling a sense of belonging at school. Because when students feel connected, supported, and seen, academic growth follows. But none of this work happens because of one person. It happens because of teachers who welcome opportunities and partnerships into their classroom, a principal who believes deeply in collaboration, a program specialist who turns ideas into action, families who trust us, community partners who continually show up for our students, and a school committee that was willing to invest in a different way of thinking about education. The progress reflected in this infographic belongs to all of us. Behind every data point is a student who feels supported, a family who feels connected, and a school community that is stronger than it was 3 years ago. Thank you for believing in this work, and thank you for making Ford Elementary and Lynn Public Schools a place where students and families can thrive.
So this year was pretty new. I started in September as a community school director. I had worked previously as a youth director for the city for 21 years. So when I read the description, I said, gee, this sounds exactly what I do. Let me check it out. And I was fortunate enough to get the job, but it was what I thought it was, but completely different. Because honestly, I mean, I applied for the job, I got it, but I said, what is a community school? and I walked in there and I realized, like, wow, this is like every resource at your fingertips for everybody. And you know, you can hear what we're saying, the facts and figures, the numbers, it speaks for itself. But I kind of want to speak a little bit on like a personal note. Like, the families there are so welcoming to the staff and the teachers, and vice versa. It's like a family. And I thought to myself, you know, it's so hard to ask for help. I mean, for anybody, grown-ups, kids. And we're in a place where we offer it on a platter. And what do you need? Have your choice, have your pick. Whatever it is, whether it's food insecurity or housing assistance, clothing, really, you name it. We get sometimes very random requests, and if we don't have it, we'll get it for you, because we're all working together to do that. And I thought, you know, for parents, it's hard for a parent if they're struggling to actually ask for help. So for us to be able to have them feel comfortable and trust us and really say, like, hey, I'm struggling in life, and maybe I don't feel like I'm doing well enough for my kids. Can you guys help us? And we're able to say, absolutely. We just have so many resources. If you look up here, some of the highlights, you know, working with the banks and the community, Stop and Shop, just really everything and anything. We met today and went over a list of everyone we're working with within the city, the North Shore, and it was unbelievable. It's great. So we're doing a lot of good work over there, but I just really want to stress the importance of, there are a lot of things in the city where you can get resources. Obviously, our city is rich of resources, but to actually provide it at your school, to be able to walk into a building and get anything you need, and really, if you don't know how to do it, there are people, I don't know how to get a job. I don't know how to write a resume. I don't know how to provide for my kids. We got you. We will find an answer for you. We'll help you. And they trust us. And I just think that trust is just so incredibly important. And that's kind of what the community school is. And for Ford and Washington, we have great responses. Our parents, our staff, everyone is really willing to help out. That's, you know, my position is what I do. However, I can turn around and ask Anthony, and he'll get it, or ask a staff member, our lunch aides, really anybody. Like, everyone's all in. We are all on board. So, and our families feel that. And it's important that we're able to continue to help them. And it takes a village. It really does. And the bigger the village, the better we can help our families. And you know, at Washington, like I said, I'm new here, but wow, the amount of things that we're able to help our families with is great. And in return, our families are doing well, our kids are doing better, everyone wants to be there. It's just, it's really, I know I sound like a fan of community schools, but I'm new to it. So I really I think once you experience it, you realize, wow, this is a necessity, it's important, and it works.
You all can read through these. These are just some of the partnerships that Kay mentioned that are happening in the schools. And as we think about priorities, it's thinking about, you know, what does it look like to expand this model? How are we just making sure we're tracking some of the academic outcomes and deepening family engagement? And I'm actually the co-chair of the Lynn Ed District this year, and so really thinking about how are we aligning the work that's happening in the Lynn Ed District with some of this work as well. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Member Pena and Member Ortiz-McGrath.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Thank you. This is really really great. You know, I remember a few years ago you came in front of the school committee and you tried it out, and I just want to give a shout out also to the principals. You know, Amy and Anthony. They're doing a great job, especially when they're real present and visible out there, and also to everyone involved. You know, thank you. You touched something important, Ms. Rowe. How you doing? Okay. About parent engagement and making parents feel comfortable, because there's a stigma, especially as an immigrant, like growing up from immigrant parents. You know, there's a stigma where you don't want to say that you don't have enough. They think they're going to get agencies involved and all kinds of stuff. And it's scary for some immigrant families, but to make them feel comfortable, to really, you know, ask for a need and stuff is really important. And I think you struck a chord when you said that, because I know like many immigrant families don't want to say that they have, you know, food insecurities. They're afraid that you're going to get some, you know, DCF involved and things like that. I'm pretty sure you identify with that, right?
Whoa. That's not appropriate. No, you calling that out. I'm wearing this hat. Sorry.
Just address it to the chair.
Yeah, apologies. Sorry. I know it's close to your heart, but you know, a lot of, you know, it's traumatizing to some families to really open up about needs and things that they have, and they're afraid of getting agencies involved and stuff. And you really touch upon that. And another note that I know personally, I see at the Washington schools, they got the washing machine there where families can go wash their clothes. You know, you heard some of the kids talk about the struggle, man. I struggled when I was a kid, man. You know, we didn't have that luxury. I used to have to put it in front of the oven, and hopefully I get a quick 10 minutes, you know, wash some pants. I just wash my hand, you know. And thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So first and foremost, I want to thank you for your presentation. So this is my first year as a school committee member, but I've been an educator for 21 years. So I am a huge believer of community schools. And we've had the opportunity in the district that I work in to go to the Harlem Children's Zone and to be able to explore. So I'm very familiar with it, and we are supporting the Enough Act as well. So schools have become hubs for our families. So being able to create an environment, you know, that has all of these resources. It is a familiar environment. It is a safe environment. You know, and speaking from our immigrant families, it resonates. When they are back home in their native countries, we do connect with our neighbors. And that's where the level of support exists. It is the surrounding community. So being able to create those spaces is really exciting. I love this update. Congratulations on such an amazing update. You know, keep up the great work. And I'm really excited to hear about the expansion. So definitely huge supporter of community schools. And this is really exciting. So thank you so much. Very well done.
I want to thank you very much for this presentation. I was out by Washington School one day and I saw Kay, and we were all dressed in those heavy coats, and you got this big truck and you're taking out all this food and you're bringing it into the gym. When I'm over at Ford School and we're planting a tree, thank you very much for all that you do up there and take care of all of our students in those needy communities and welcoming them so that they trust you. And that's the most important thing, is that they have a trust with that community school to give them the best education and the best help with all their needs that they may not be able to meet on their own because of things are so expensive nowadays. Just saying. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. To be honest, when I read the parent and staff survey, I think some of the standouts, it's empathy, it's impact, and it's something that I've witnessed the past 8 years on the school committee. The way that you guys are now the model, like people are coming down to see how it's done, and it's very impressive. I'm very grateful. There's a lot of gratitude. I hear a lot of good things from families that attend these schools, and the strategy matches, right? So like your vision matches, and it matches the alignment that where we're trying to go. And to hear just your own experiences, right, your insights, it really is inspiring. And I think it's something that we got to continue to invest in, continue to support. And like I said before, I'll be here to support community schools. And I remember Dr. Crane always explaining community schools to us. I remember before coming on to the school committee or running for school committee, I met with Dr. Crane, and she was knocking community schools into my head. Like, you need to, this is what you need to really understand. And I remember how strongly she felt about it. And once I got to really visit and learn about community schools and the impact, I was all in. So, and to see the growth and I'll be remiss not to thank United Way and all of the resources and support that you guys provided to us as a district that has high needs. And it was a very, I love the partnership quote of given to give. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a wonderful quote. And I do see people that are at the table that come to our system to care meetings around the city. Those are very important meetings to go to, and sometimes they're very long, and sometimes you're going to be in these rooms where you're like, should I be here? But you guys show up, and I see it without the pat on the back. Like, you guys are doing the work. Like, you're doing, like, everyone in those schools are doing the work, and it's very evident, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
It is catching on. Someone from my running club reached out for a stroller,
yeah.
And then he actually works to a stroller, and he's like, "Tell me what you do." What's a community school? He's like, "Why aren't we one?" And I was like, "That's a good question." My work doesn't just end at Ford. I kind of spread that around.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for the presentation and for the incredible work. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, we didn't give a shout out to Phil and the Lynn Teachers Union, who's also just been a very strong supporter and advocate of community schools.
Thank you, Phil.
Great work. Great work. All right. Next, we have some field trip requests. What's the recommendation of the superintendent?
Yep, I'm asking that you approve the Lynn Woods Grade 5 students to Canopy Lake Park, Salem, New Hampshire on June 16th, 2026.
So move.
What do we want to do? All right.
You
We got a
want to-
motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, another Lynn Woods Grade 5 to Camp Cody, Freedom, New Hampshire. These dates are September 21 to September 25th, 2026.
Motion to approve the Camp Cody Freedom, New Hampshire trip, and I know they're going to have a ball.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
And then request to approve Shoemaker Grade 5 to Camp Cody as well, September 21st to September 23rd, 2026.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
I would like to ask the school committee to accept the following donations: an anonymous donation in the amount of $5,000 to Hood Elementary School.
That's awesome.
Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Yeah.
So move.
Got that, Deb?
Second check.
And
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
and a donation from Snap Mobile in the amount of $4,682.25 to the LVTI softball.
Still move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Very generous on both accounts, so thank you so much for those donations. All right, is there a motion to enter executive session?
Motion.
To enter. Sorry, Louis.
Motion to.
Oh, okay,
enter-
there's a back, hold on.
Or do we want to do
We're gonna,
communications
yeah,
first?
with a motion to amend the agenda to move communications ahead of executive session.
Still move.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, communications.
Okay, we just have a few highlights to celebrate, and then we'll be on our way.
Okay. We just heard from Kay, but this school year, Washington Elementary School partnered with Safe Routes to School, and through this program, they obtained a grant to improve the safety of the school with new signage, new crosswalks, curb markings for drop-off and pickup. The program provides safety classes to students on walking to school, using sidewalks, bike safety, crossing the street. They took full advantage of this wonderful program, and by utilizing the resources and partnering with Safe Routes, Washington was presented with an award at the State House. Representatives from Mass DOT, Safe Routes to School, Mass Transportation Secretary Phil Eng, State Senator Brendan Creighton, and Washington School Director Kay Rowe are pictured in this photo here.
And Lynn English Marine Corps Junior ROTC program has been invited to take part in the opening ceremonies for the Sail 250 in Boston on Saturday, July 11th of this year. As part of the ceremony, 25 of our cadets will present the participating nation's flags during the event. So Boston is an official port of Sail 250, a global gathering of tall ships and military vessels commemorating the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States. So they're excited to be involved.
This is Luke Quatermack, and he greets every
FDA student and teacher by name, as well as anyone who enters the back door in the morning. It may not seem like a lot, but I assure you, it really is. Luke, many of you probably recognize Luke. He is the campus monitor here at FDCA, but he was also the senior class advisor, and he called each graduating senior up to for their diploma, and I know you agreed, you could feel the love and mutual respect. We'd also like to recognize Parent Child Plus held their 25th anniversary graduation recently in this very room under the direction of Kathy Weston. The Parent Child Plus program is offered to families with children from 18 months to 3 years of age, and this program is research-based. It is an early literacy program that engages the parent as the child's very first and most important teacher. Through this program, parents learn creative ways to read, play, and interact, prepare them for a successful school experience. This week was a busy week. This week, Lynn Community Health Center Student Fellowship graduated their very first cohort. We all came together to recognize and celebrate the accomplishments of these Lynn Public Schools students and the collective impact of this program that we partner with. Students were in attendance with their guests and honored on this special occasion. The event highlighted the growth, contributions, and milestones throughout the year as a fellow with the Lynn Community Health Center. On this week on Wednesday, many of us attended Dream More's Spring 2026 showcase that happened at Thurgood Marshall Middle School. Students shared what they learned throughout the session's enrichment offerings and showcased their projects and presentations. They will also hold a summer session. And Harrington School, I know I'm getting a lot of FaceTime this week. We're coming to a close, so I wanted to make sure that it was stuck with everybody. We celebrate Harrington School hosted Harrington Reads Day this past Tuesday and celebrated literacy with so much energy around reading. And yet another successful elementary all-city concert series that was held at Lynn English High School this week under the direction of Julie Carroll, showcasing that Lynn Public School students have talent.
And just a shout out to all of our graduates. We've all seen a lot of each other over the last few days. But we just have a sampling picture from each of our schools. Really want to congratulate the 2026 class from Lynn English High School, Lynn Classical High School, Lynn Vocational Technical Institute, the Frederick Douglass Collegiate Academy, and the Harold Durgan Success Academy. So congratulations to all of our graduates. And our Skills USA group just came back from their national competition. So great job representing Lynn yet again. Just wanted to point out the high school teams came back with 2 fourth places for American Spirit and Outstanding Chapter, 2 third places for Community Action and Community Service, and for the first time, the 8th grade group from Massachusetts, the first time they've entered, they came home with first place for Community Service. Just one other additional point. One of the students, Dana Hurley, was recognized by the Massachusetts director for being the first student to participate in 5 years of Skills USA. So a real shout out to them. I'm going to kick it back to Dr. Cohen.
Yep, and we want to end tonight by thanking our very own student representative of school committee, Amelia Stank. I'm going to come over and give you a hug, if I may. I just want to say it has been like a very different and unique experience to have you for the entire year and to watch you blossom your senior year and be able to just share the entire experience through all the seasons. So thank you very much, Amelia.
Congratulations, Amelia. You've done a wonderful job, and we've so enjoyed having you here as a colleague. You've been amazing. All right, so now I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session.
For the minutes from the meeting held on May 14th, 2026, discuss contract negotiations with non-union personnel, Dr. Molly Cohen, interim superintendent, Howard Greenspan, school committee attorney.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz-McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes.
did. Motion to return, 9:21.
Is there a motion to return to our regular session?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes. In the executive session, we voted to approve a contract with the superintendent for a 3-year extension to make her the permanent superintendent of the Lynn Public Schools. Let's vote that in regular session, then I'll turn it over to Dr. Cohen. So is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. I had to jot down a few ideas because I was afraid I would not stay focused. I'm so excited and a little bit intimidated by all those students that came before me, so I have to read my notes. I'm deeply humbled and grateful for the opportunity to continue to lead in a district and a city that I love. This opportunity to serve as interim has afforded me the experience and agency to implement a vision of change that my team and I are really excited about. It's a vision of improved student outcomes, community and family engagement, and authentic relationships that span across all of our partners. The joy I exhibit when I am out and about is truly the effect of the engagement in instructional leadership and real relationships with the people who do hard work every day. Although I love to laugh and smile, I want to be very clear about my serious and ultra-focused vision of creating equitable access to rigorous learning for all students and creating healthy and invigorating learning environments for teachers and students alike. To be clear, we aspire to be one of the highest performing urban districts in the Commonwealth. I'd like to sincerely thank the school committee for investing in me as the leader of that change, and my district for the overwhelming feeling of positivity I have experienced these last 8 months. So thank you to everyone, sincerely.
Congratulations. We also voted to approve a 1-year contract extension for our esteemed attorney, Howard Greenspan. Is there a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Castellanos?
Yes.
Member Gately?
Yes.
Member Ortiz McGrath?
Yes.
Member Pena?
Yes.
Member Satterwhite?
Yes.
Member Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Nicholson?
Yes. Seeing no further, unless, yeah. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.